Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing my first favorites video for 2020. Is my January 2020 beauty favorites. First off, apologies if you at any point during this video can hear something that sounds like a train. It's actually a storm which is happening in the UK right now. As I'm filming this, it's February, by the way. We've got Storm Dennis in the UK. It had to be a man, didn't it? Remember the cartoon in the 80s, Dennis the Menace? Yeah, so if you can hear that sound, that's what that is. I'm actually a little bit scared because like 50-60 mile per hour winds outside and things are flying around. Anyway, so let's get into the video straight off. So quite a few products are going to be ones that you've seen in the past, a couple of new products. But as I always say to you guys, favorites does not necessarily always mean brand new products. It's just things that I've basically been loving throughout the month, whatever the month may be. So let's first start off with foundations. The first one, my Ride or Die, my favorite foundation, still my favorite foundation. It was in 2019 and still is in 2020, is the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue foundation. My shade is in 120 light medium, so what I'm wearing right now. I'm not gonna lie, one of the reasons why I've been wearing it so much is because it's, out of all of my foundations, the only one that really seems to match me properly right now. I'm still so pale. There's no sun. There's a storm outside, obviously. I use so much SPF. I use so many acid products on my skin. My hyperpigmentation has steadily been disappearing and my complexion has actually become lighter as a result of using all of those acids. And another reason why I love this so much is because it's got a naturally matte finish, gives amazing full coverage. Yes, I'm wearing it now and I just can't put it down. I love it. It performs amazingly. After 12 hours it still looks perfect on my skin. I don't start to get shiny until about at least hour 16, and even then a little bit of powder sorts it out straight away. Another one I've been really loving is the Nabla Close Up Futuristic foundation. My shade is in T10 Tan. I really like this because it's a very lightweight foundation and it gives a very soft focus blurred effect to the skin. So if you're somebody like me that's already got textured skin, acne, scarring, that sort of thing, it's really great because it kind of like smooths over those areas and makes your skin look a lot more flawless than it actually is. Another foundation which I've been really loving is the Cover FX Power Play foundation. My shade is in G50. I'm not gonna lie, it's because it's quite light and it's one of the few shades that still matches my skin. But aside from that, again, it gives really good medium to full buildable coverage, performs amazingly on the skin. I've done a review of this so you can check it out and I love it. Moving on to concealers, again, no surprises, is my Holy Grail concealer for 2019 and it's still my favorite this year, is the Stay Naked Correcting Concealer by Urban Decay. My shade is in 50WY. I love this because not only does it give full coverage, it's not like a thick coverage feeling and looking kind of textured concealer. It's got a very lightweight feel to it. It blends beautifully into the skin. It requires minimal blending and as a result of that you get that full coverage effect. Some concealers you have to blend and then they start to become patchy as they dry, or you end up shearing them out too much, and I find that that doesn't happen with this. I love the way that this performs and the colour itself is very brightening and gorgeous under my eyes, and so I love it. Another one I've been really loving is the L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer. My shade is in 332 Amber. I'm actually using that on my eyes today. I love this so much. Again, it's got a full coverage effect to it. It blends beautifully. It's quite similar-ish to the Urban Decay one, but again, obviously being drugstore is a lot more affordable, and for somebody like me who prefers full coverage foundations, full coverage concealers, but also doesn't want that kind of thick sort of texture, this is the reason why I continuously love this. Actually nearly finished. And another concealer I've been loving is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Radiance Concealer with Hyaluronic Acid. My shade is in C8. This is quite a light shade, so I generally tend to kind of blend it into my foundation. I love this a lot more than the Conceal and Define. I find that the coverage of this is a lot better. I find the other one creases a lot sooner than this one as well. When I'm out and about all day, and for those of you that don't know, I actually work in property and not an estate agent, as in we build places. And sometimes I have to be on construction sites. Sometimes I have to be outside for hours in a day. Sometimes I'm driving for hours in a day as well. And I need something that can really hold up and last throughout various different types of temperatures, whether it's hot, cold, windy and whatever. And I find that this works really well in that respect. Let's move on to one that you're probably so sick of seeing, but again, like I always say, I'm not gonna lie, this is something that I continuously love. It's the Saddle Powder Bronzer by Anastasia Beverly Hills that I've been raving about for at least 12 months. When is this dent ever going to end? Like, I've literally used it every single day for the month of January. I don't even have any other contour powders to show you guys, yet that same dent, it just doesn't seem to disappear. Okay, maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I love the way that this performs. Saddle is the perfect cool and warm tone shade for medium skin tones like myself. It performs beautifully. I'm wearing it right now. It blends lovely on the skin. It's a little bit powdery, however it's not powdery to the point where, oh my god, you know, there's so much being wasted. I just don't go in with a really heavy hand. That's probably why I haven't actually finished this yet, but I love the way that it looks on the skin. It's one that I always reach for. Let's now move on to blushes. The Anastasia Beverly Hills blush trios. Now, you guys know that I've got all of them. I bought most of them on the Black Friday sales in previous years for Anastasia Beverly Hills, where they generally have these at 50% off. This one is in the shade Peachy Love. Now, I still continuously use all the other ones, but it just so happens that for January, I tended to go for this one more. It just happens to be the kind of makeup looks I was going for, so I wanted kind of peachy sort of looks. I love the quality of the Anastasia Beverly Hills blushes. The quality is very, very pigmented, very easy to blend. A little bit goes a really long way, hence the reason why these have lasted me years. Another one, which is a newer one, is this one by Charlotte Tilbury, and it is the Pillow Talk Cheek to Chic Swish and Glow Blusher, and it is in the shade Intense. Now, obviously, I've had my ranting aside in that video when I reviewed this as well as all the other new Pillow Talk related products, or some of them anyway. Now, I wasn't happy about the fact that they hadn't released one of these for medium skin tones, but that aside, I love this blusher, especially because of the fact that it's got a paler inside. So if I don't want it to be too deep on my skin, because this is a very berry tone sort of shade, which is amazing on medium and deep skin tones and fair skin tones in all fairness as well, if you want a berry kind of look. But I love the quality of this. A little bit goes a really long way, especially because it is supposed to be for deep skin tones. So for somebody like me, I only have to use a little bit to get a beautiful berry wash on the skin. It performs beautifully and it lasts all day. Moving on to eyeshadow palettes, carrying on with the whole Pillow Talk. This is the Pillow Talk Instant Eye Palette by Charlotte Tilbury that came out in January. This is what it looks like. I've done a review on it, check it out. It's basically full of warm tone shades, going from various different types of oranges and browns and caramels into a couple of berry shades and a few gold shades as well. I love the quality of this. The one thing that did annoy me was that there were so many matte shades and not that many shimmers, and there were quite a few in-betweeny shades missing, and there was not a single shade in here which was actually a replication of... Is replication a word? Anyway, a duplicate of the OG Pillow Talk shade. So that was a little bit disappointing. However, those things aside, the quality itself is absolutely excellent. Charlotte Tilbury has definitely got one of the best performing eyeshadow textures on the market in comparison to quite a few other ones. This is pricey. I think it's about £60, but that's generally the price that Charlotte Tilbury tends to charge. It's up to you if you want to pay for it, that's all. Another eyeshadow palette which I was loving throughout January and in February as well, because it came out more later on in the month, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy palette. Not gonna lie, I've probably used this a lot more than the Charlotte Tilbury one. I had a wedding to go to, as you guys know. I wore this to a wedding. I wear this to work. I wore this on Valentine's Day when I went out with one of my friends, even though this is the January favorites, but still I'm filming it in February, and I just love it. I use it every single day. There's not a single shade in here that I've not used and loved. The quality is excellent. The shades in here are excellent as well in terms of how many different types of shades they are, and I absolutely love this palette. Let's move on to highlighters. I've got two to show you guys which are not new. The first one is the Dull Beauty Dull Light Shine Bright highlighter. This one is definitely geared more towards fair and medium skin tones. They've got another one like this which is geared more towards deeper skin tones, which is a beautiful golden shade. This one is more of a kind of a lighter golden shade, which is one that I generally tend to go for. It's got a hefty dent in it. I've loved this continuously since I bought it. The quality is amazing. It's a very thick kind of highlighter, as is the other one I'm about to show you, which is by Makeup Revolution. It's the Revolution Pro Supreme Highlighter Palette in gold. You can see it's absolutely filthy because it does get everywhere. However, the intensity of this highlighter and the Dull Beauty one are very similar. I would definitely say this one is definitely a lot more buttery thick. So when you go in, you have to go in with a very light hand and build it up. Otherwise, you will literally have like a thick layer of highlighter. Some people love it. It's fine. You do you, boo. However, what was that noise? What was I saying? But I love this. This is amazing if you've got medium or deep skin tones. If you've got fair skin, I would not personally go for this because these colours are too deep for your skin. However, the quality itself is probably one of the best I've ever used because it is so intense and so thick. Rather than accentuating texture, it actually hides texture, which is almost unheard of. And that's one of the reasons I love it so much. And I swear it's only a few pounds. Oh, Charlotte Tilbury's getting quite a lot of love in this video. Here is my Airbrush Flawless Finish powder in the shade number 2 medium. Every time I show this to you guys, that hole gets bigger and bigger and bigger because I use it every single day. Hopefully by the time it gets to February, there'll be like a little bit left, and I am definitely going to repurchase this. I love this. It makes my skin look flawless. It sets my foundation beautifully. It looks airbrushed, just as the name suggests, and the colour is perfect as well. Another powder I've been re-loving is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. Mine is in the shade Blondie because I repurchased this shade. I've tried the lighter shade, too light. This is actually just about right for me in terms of colour. It does not brighten under the eyes, but I let my concealer do that, and it does not interfere with the shade of the concealer. It's finely milled, keeps everything in place all day, and it's absolutely excellent. Another random, the last thing I'm going to show you, very, very random, I don't often show, is nail polishes. So these are the Essie nail polishes from the Valentine's collection. And I have loved all of these. These are the 5 that were released in the UK. I believe that there were 6 released in the US. For some reason we didn't get that, but that's fine. I'm actually wearing one of them right now, this metallic red. And if you look back at some of my previous videos over the past couple of weeks, you'll see where I've been actually wearing these. This is in the shade called Surprise and Delight. It's a metallic red. I love Essie nail polishes. They last at least 5 days on my hands, 2 coats. And I wash dishes quite a lot, wash my hair, I'm always washing my hands, and they still hold up really well. I actually put this on 2 days ago and it still looks good. Another shade which I absolutely love is this metallic purple. Such an amazing colour, especially on deep skin tones, and it's called Unwrap Me. This shade here I'm actually wearing on my feet right now. It's a chocolate shade, but a gorgeous, like almost pinky chocolate, and it's called Don't Be Chocolate. This one here is a classic metallic Barbie pink. Would not look great on all skin tones, but on medium skin tones it looks excellent, and it's in the shade Peace, Love and Chocolate. And then this last shade here, which is not metallic like 3 of the other ones I showed you. The chocolate one is also not metallic. This one is called Talk Sweet to Me, and it's like a neutral pink. I've actually repurchased 3 of them. The ones that I've repurchased are Peace, Love and Chocolate, Surprise and Delight, and Unwrap Me. They're the 3 metallic shades just because I love them. I mean, look at it, look at it. It's gorgeous. I love this colour. Got a couple of regrets to show you. They're all the same. The Fenty Beauty Snap Shadows. Ugh, God. I've literally hardly used them at all because they're that bad. I bought 4 of them. I've done a review on it. Make sure you check it out. I bought it in the shade Rose, True Neutrals, Peach, as well as Pastel Rose. The thing is, I wanted to love them. I really, really wanted to love them, but the quality is just not there. It easily rubs off. They're not pigmented enough. They're just very, very badly performing eyeshadows, and considering they are not cheap, this is why I was really disappointed with these. I got quite a lot of comments, you know, saying, why don't you use it like that? Why don't you know what, sometimes I get really annoyed with those kind of comments, like, do you not know that I know how to use makeup? I know what I'm doing, and I don't, when I review things, I don't just use it in one way. I use it in various different ways in order for me to do a review. People don't want to agree with me. They're like, oh no, but it worked really well on me, and then well, you already bought it, so why are you even here? I don't understand. Why are you arguing with me? Anyway, personally, I don't think that they're great at all. Fenty Beauty eyeshadows are not good. And that's it for my January 2020 favourites. I hope you guys are amazing. January so far has started off really well for me. 2020 itself has started off great. I've already been on holiday to Paris, so I'm planning to go on other holidays hopefully this year as well. And in general, life is good. You know, I can't complain. No, 2019 was not a good year for me. If you guys remember, I mentioned it in once or twice in a couple of my vlogs. And you know what? I made a conscious decision this year to make positive changes for myself, to get rid of toxic people in my life. And I have followed through with that, and I couldn't be happier. And I suggest you guys do the same. You've only got one life to live. So what's the point of waiting? Fix yourselves up now. The only one in control of your happiness is you. And on that lecturing note, I'm going to go now, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.